Welcome to Hidden Wisdom Academy Biology. In this lecture, we'll study the Indian bullfrog, Rana tigrina, a well-known amphibian that lives both on land and in water. We'll learn about its body parts, special adaptations, and organ systems. Also don't miss our daily NEET MCQs and PYQ series for daily revision. Let's begin and see how this amazing animal connects life in water and on land. As always in this slide you can see the syllabus and PYQ topics with their years, so you get to know what to expect in your exams. Let's talk about the external morphology of frog. The frog's body has a head and trunk, with no neck or tail in adults. The head has the mouth, eyes, nostrils, and eardrum, tympanum, while the trunk has two pairs of limbs for movement. The back is olive green with dark spots for camouflage, and the belly is pale yellow. Its smooth, moist skin has glands that help in breathing through the skin and keeping it moist. At the back, a single cloacal opening removes wastes from the digestive, excretory, and reproductive systems. Now, let's talk about the locomotion and body adaptations of frog. Frogs are great jumpers and swimmers. Their streamlined body and strong hind limbs help them move easily on land and in water. The long, webbed hind limbs give a powerful push for swimming and jumping, while the short forelimbs help them land safely. Their light skeleton and lack of tail make them flexible and quick. All these features help frogs live both in water and on land. Let's talk about the digestive system of frog. The frog's digestive system begins at the wide mouth, with maxillary teeth on the upper jaw and vomerine teeth on the roof to hold prey. The fleshy tongue is attached at the front and flips out to catch insects. Food moves through the esophagus to the stomach for initial digestion. The small intestine, with help from the liver and pancreas, continues digestion and absorbs nutrients. The large intestine ends at the cloaca, a common exit for digestive, excretory, and reproductive wastes. Now, let's talk about the circulatory system of frog. The frog has a three-chambered heart with two atria and one ventricle, allowing partial double circulation. The right atrium receives blood from the body, and the left atrium receives blood from the lungs and skin. The ventricle pumps blood into the conus arteriosus, which directs it to the truncus arteriosus and aortic arches. A spiral valve in the conus arteriosus partly separates oxygen-rich and oxygen-poor blood. This system, along with skin breathing, ensures the frog's body gets enough oxygen. Let's talk about the respiratory system of frog. Frogs breathe through lungs, skin, and mouth cavity. The lungs are thin sacs without alveoli and fill with air by buccal pumping. The frog lowers its mouth floor to draw air in and pushes it into the lungs. The skin is full of blood vessels, allowing cutaneous respiration, especially underwater or during hibernation. This dual breathing is a key adaptation of amphibians. Now, let's talk about the excretory system of frog. The frog's excretory system has a pair of kidneys that remove nitrogenous waste as urea. Ureters carry urine to the urinary bladder for temporary storage. Urine leaves the body through the cloaca, which also handles digestive and reproductive wastes. This system helps frogs conserve water on land. Let's talk about the nervous system of frog. The frog's nervous system has three parts: central, peripheral, and autonomic. The brain has three regions: the forebrain for smell and senses, the midbrain for vision, and the hindbrain for balance, coordination, and reflexes. The spinal cord connects the brain to the body. Cranial and spinal nerves carry messages for movement and sensation, while the autonomic system controls involuntary actions like heartbeat and digestion. Now, let's talk about the reproductive system of frog. The frog has separate sexes, and fertilization happens externally in water. In males, the testes produce sperm, which travel through vasa efferentia and vas deferens to the cloaca. In females, the ovaries produce eggs, which move through oviducts to the cloaca. The cloaca is a common exit for both excretory and reproductive products. Let's learn about the frog, Rana tigrina. Body: it has a head and trunk, no tail, with a cloacal opening at the back. Skin: smooth, moist, and vascularized, helps the frog breathe through the skin. Locomotion: strong hind limbs with webbed toes help it jump and swim. Digestive system: the mouth has vomerine teeth to hold prey. Food passes through a J-shaped stomach and small intestine, with help from the liver and pancreas, and exits via the cloaca. Circulatory system: frogs have a three-chambered heart, with double circulation, and the conus arteriosus partly separates oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Respiration: frogs breathe using lungs, skin, and buccal pumping. Excretory system: kidneys produce urea, which passes through ureters to the bladder, and leaves via the cloaca. Nervous system: the brain has forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. The spinal cord and nerves control movement and senses, while the autonomic system manages involuntary actions. Reproductive system: frogs have separate sexes, fertilization is external in water, and paired gonads release gametes through the cloaca. Frogs are perfectly adapted to life both in water and on land. Let's compare earthworm, cockroach, and frog. Symmetry: all three have bilateral symmetry. Body cavity: earthworm has a true coelom, cockroach has a hemocoel, and frog has a coelom. Circulatory system: earthworm has a closed system with dorsal and ventral vessels. Cockroach has an open system with a tubular heart. Frog has a closed system with a three-chambered heart. Respiration: earthworm breathes through the skin, cockroach through tracheae, and frog through lungs, skin, and buccal cavity. Excretion: earthworm uses nephridia, cockroach uses Malpighian tubules, and frog uses kidneys, ureters, and bladder. Nervous system: earthworm has a ventral nerve cord, cockroach has a brain and ventral cord, while frog has a brain, spinal cord, and cranial nerves. Reproduction: earthworm is hermaphrodite, while both cockroach and frog are dioecious, with external fertilization in frog. That's a quick comparison of earthworm, cockroach, and frog, three organisms showing increasing complexity from invertebrates to vertebrates. Let's compare earthworm, cockroach, and frog. Symmetry: all three have bilateral symmetry. Body cavity: earthworm has a true coelom, cockroach has a hemocoel, and frog has a coelom. Circulatory system: earthworm has a closed system with dorsal and ventral vessels. Cockroach has an open system with a tubular heart. Frog has a closed system with a three-chambered heart. Respiration: earthworm breathes through the skin, cockroach through tracheae, and frog through lungs, skin, and buccal cavity. Excretion: earthworm uses nephridia, cockroach uses Malpighian tubules, and frog uses kidneys, ureters, and bladder. Nervous system: earthworm has a ventral nerve cord, cockroach has a brain and ventral cord, while frog has a brain, spinal cord, and cranial nerves. Reproduction: earthworm is hermaphrodite, while both cockroach and frog are dioecious, with external fertilization in frog. That's a quick comparison of earthworm, cockroach, and frog, three organisms showing increasing complexity from invertebrates to vertebrates. Let's practice few questions to test your knowledge. Let's start with question 1. Which of the following structures in a frog is not part of its excretory system? Option A: kidney. Option B: ureter. Option C: cloaca. Option D: liver. Explanation: the kidneys are the main excretory organs. They filter waste from the blood. The ureters carry urine from the kidneys to the urinary bladder. The cloaca is a common chamber for both excretory and reproductive systems. Together, the kidneys, ureters, and cloaca take part in excretion. Remember, the liver is not an excretory organ. It helps in detoxification and metabolism instead. So, option D is the correct answer, that is, liver is not a part of excretory system in frog. Now, let's move to question 2. In frogs, fertilization occurs. This is a PYQ from NEET 2018. Option A. Internally, in the female body. Option B. Externally, in water. Option C. In the cloaca. Option D. Internally, but development is external. Explanation. Frogs are amphibians, and their fertilization happens externally in water. The male releases sperm over the eggs, ensuring moisture for sperm movement and embryo development. Remember, internal fertilization happens in reptiles, birds, and mammals, not in frogs. And the cloaca only serves as a common passage, it's not the site of fertilization. So, option B is the correct answer, that is, in frogs, fertilization occurs externally, in water. Let's look at some common mistakes students make about the frog's body systems. Many thinks fertilization happens in the cloaca. It doesn't. It's external in water. Also, frogs have a 3-chambered heart, but still show double circulation. Don't forget the 3 respiratory modes such as skin, lungs, and buccal cavity. And finally, revise your nervous system parts, which are optic lobes, cerebellum, medulla. These show up in NEET again and again. And that's a wrap on structural organization in animals with frog. You've learned how their body systems such as digestion, circulation, respiration, work and evolve with comparison of earthworm, cockroach and frog. Next, we'll go one level deeper, into the cell, the basic unit of life. We'll explore how scientists discovered cells and the cell theory, showing that every living organism begins with a cell. Stay tuned, revise your notes, and get ready to explore the microscopic world of life. Also, don't miss our daily biology podcast for daily revision. See you in the next lecture.